So after meeting up with Batreaux the first time, you can return to Kukiel's house to get the Graitude crystals from her parents. However, something else that happens is after you have spoken with Batreaux the first time, you also have access to individual Graitude crystals that are available at night. So individual Graitude crystals are just lying around somewhere in the sky at night, and so you can go just pick them up. So there is actually 13 technically that we can get at this point. However, I'm just going to get 10 of them because the rewards are all in batches of 5, and these 10 are very easy to get. So I have a map on screen that's going to show where all the locations are, and I'm just going to check them off as we get there, so that way it's a little bit easier to figure out where I'm going. But I'm just going to fast forward through a lot of this just to make this a little more efficient and save time. First one here is over behind this tree. You can get these in any order. I'm just choosing a path that I think is efficient for me. Next, we're heading to the waterfall cave. There are 2 Graitude crystals on the other side, and I'm going to just fast forward through all this. We're just like running through the cave, and I'm smacking all the enemies to hopefully get some treasure. I want some more Chew Jelly and Monster Claws, so that's why I'm defeating enemies along the way. One of the reasons I like to do this first is because if we get hurt along the way, we can get some various hearts on our way back, and you can also slash pumpkins and stuff like that to get hearts too. Also, as long as you're going through the waterfall cave, I would recommend that you check for the Starry Firefly, which you can collect with your bug catching net. Although, just as a side comment, if you ever need Starry Fireflies from them, you can also get them from Pumpkin Landing. Is the best place in the game. So you go to the Lumpy Pumpkin, sleep in the bed at night, and then go outside, and out in the pumpkin patch, there are Starry Fireflies out there. So this second Graitude crystal is right outside the exit right here. The third one is over in the little alcove where we found our loftwing was hiding before, which is kind of weird. Like, I don't know why the loftwing would generate a Graitude crystal. I mean, Batreaux said that the Graitude crystals were only generated by humans, but maybe that's because, we found our bird. We were happy to find our bird, and so thus this Graitude crystal was created by Link, maybe, from this. I doubt it's from Groose and his buddies in their little secret alcove. I guess technically it could be. Happy that they stole Link's bird. Who knows? Next, if you head along this right side over here, then there's actually these little wooden platforms, whatever, and near them, over here on this little grassy portion, kind of just south of the Knights Academy, there is actually a Graitude crystal over here in this corner. Next, we're heading to the Knights Academy, and unfortunately the lower doors are locked at night, but the upper doors are open. I don't know why they have this weird stipulation, but we're going to have to climb up the boxes and then go to the upper doors. Now, otherwise, you could have taken that little bridge route that leads, towards the bazaar. This was just a faster path considering the route I'm taking. But anyways, enter through the doors here, and the potted plant on the left has a Graitude crystal in it. Not really sure why. Maybe that plant is just very happy for having been watered all the time. But again, Graitude crystals are only generated by humans, so I don't know what specifically would cause happiness in this location specifically. But the next Graitude crystal is inside Link's room. So maybe our protagonist is just really excited that we're playing him for this game or something. I don't know. And as long as you're here, I do like to open the cabinet every time I come through here because it often has 5 rupees in it, and you might as well. Dude, I just had a thought. What if that potted plant that was at the entrance here that had the Graitude crystal in it, what if that crystal was generated by Karain because she was happy because her crush finally opened the door for her? That'd be cool. What an interesting level of depth the developers went to if that's really what that was. That's all we had to do here, so go ahead and exit the Knight Academy. Again, you have to exit through the top doors because the bottom doors are locked, and then hop off to the left and enter the sparring hall. Now, you can enter this at any point, and it actually doesn't look that different at night, but inside, because Graitude crystals only appear at night, if you enter at night, you'll see that this Graitude crystal is here. If you enter during the day, you will not see it. So, enter this room at night, and you can use the Beedle to fly up and grab it in the rafters on the ceiling. Along the way, you can speak with Pipit optionally if you want to. Pipit's always patrolling back and forth outside the Knights Academy. I just find this conversation a little bit interesting. You have 2 options when you are talking with him. You can either say that it's his job or you can say it's admirable. And Pipit is always making a big deal. He kind of responds almost a little bit offended that you said it's admirable, but he kind of puts on a brave face. I actually do think that Pipit means well, but he also is desperate for money, and that has to do with his family situation, which we'll learn more about later. But anyways, Pipit is working out here for payment, so he actually does get paid rupees for working here and guarding outside the Knights Academy at night. I'll talk more about that later, but anyways, continuing onwards, you want to go ahead and work your way back towards the plaza, and along the way there is a lower alcove that is off to the right, and you might have not seen this before, but there's some vines right here that you can hop down. Now, you might have one of these remlets follow you too. Now, remlets, whenever you throw them down cliffs, whatever, you throw them off the edge of something, or you throw them in the water, whatever, they can actually fly and flap with their ears, which is kind of weird, so they'll fly back up to the platform. So in this case, one of the remlets jumped off to the ledge after me, and it missed and everything, but then it flew back up. You might have to deal with them down here, but it usually doesn't happen. Anyways, go ahead and grab the Graitude crystal that's down on this lower platform, and then use the vines to get back up. For some reason, I always tend to forget this next one, but there's a house nearby, just right here, and that it belongs to Orielle and Parrow, which are brother and sister. So go ahead and enter here, and then the Graitude crystal is just to the right. And again, as these are only here at night, so if you come here during the day, you will not see this Graitude crystal. So if you come here at any point during the night, you can grab this. So the last one we're going to grab is actually behind the light tower, which is here in the southern plaza. So go ahead and climb this ladder here and to this lighthousey looking thing. And on this lower tier, if you go to the back side of the light tower, there is an individual Graitude crystal. And I don't know why there's Graitude crystal here. Like maybe this is like a makeout spot or something. I don't know. Anyways, continue on backwards, and we're done with all the individual Graitude crystals we can get for now. There's technically 3 more that are available, but they're a little bit out of the way. But because the prizes are only available in clumps of 5, and the remaining 2 are not available for now, I'm going to get them at a later time. So at this point, we're done with individual ones. We're now going to get some clusters of them for helping people. And the first batch we're going to get is for finding Kukiel. So I'd like to go to Kukiel's house, which is over here in the middle of town. And for 2 reasons. One is because we need to make it day anyways to continue on with our adventure and to get the Graitude crystals from Kukiel's family. But also, I'd like to speak with them as opposed to like sleeping in some other bed because Kukiel is not back yet. So she's on her way here, so you can get this optional dialogue. This is the only point in the game where you can actually read this. So go ahead and speak with them. And Wryna in particular is the one we want to talk to because she has the chat bubble above her head. This is optional. You don't have to speak with her at all. But she's just happy to hear that that her daughter is with a responsible adult. Anyways, go ahead and sleep in the bed. I think it's interesting they have just one ginormous bed. Apparently Kukiel sleeps there too with her parents. So while individual Graitude crystals are found only at night, the regular Graitude crystals you can only get during the day, and these are from people for completing side quests. So because we saved Kukiel, we found her and brought her back home, her mom is really happy, so if you speak with Wryna, you will then get 5 Graitude crystals. So these come in clumps of 5 as opposed to individually, and so they get bigger quantities from helping people. So that is our first batch of 5 Graitude crystals, and we're going to go continue helping other people to get even more. So our next objective is actually to continue on with this quest, and this leads to an empty bottle that we're about to get, which is really awesome, but I want to make sure that I have enough space for that. So because I actually have enough rupees, I'm going to head to Beedle's airshop, because we can purchase an adventure pouch slot for 300. So it doesn't cost too much, it's actually pretty inexpensive at this point in the game, so I'd recommend you do that at least, even if you're not really planning to have a lot of items. I think it's nice to just have that little bit of extra boost early on, and it's very easy to do, so I think it's really worthwhile. So go ahead and purchase that if you have enough rupees. If you don't, you might have to wait a little bit. Now I do actually, I've been getting a lot of extra rupees throughout the game so far, but it is possible that a lot of you might not have the amount of rupees that I do, just because I've been going out of my way to get rupees. Although I did actually purchase an extra wallet. I recommended that people buy one of them earlier, but I actually bought 2, so that was 200 rupees that I spent. So you might have an extra 100 rupees than I do, or more rupees than I do at this point, just depending. But anyways, go ahead and buy this, which is great, and then exit. And one of the reasons why I'm doing this right now, it's a little bit weird because it's right in the middle of all these other side quests. You can also optionally purchase another extra wallet, or like that one that I already bought. This is the 3rd one actually for me, but I don't have enough rupees for it, obviously. I'm just pointing it out to draw attention to it. But anyways, I'm not going to buy that for now. Go ahead and leave. And again, there is a cinematic here for Beedle if you don't purchase anything. I didn't show it at this point either, but I will show it later in the walkthrough, don't worry. But the reason I got the adventure pouch slot right now is because we're about to get another bottle from Parrow. So I wanted to make sure that I had enough room for it. Otherwise, we'd have to go to the item check to move items around and pull it out or whatever. So this way we'll actually be able to hold it, which is great. So next you can speak with Parrow. This particular part of this quest is actually optional. You don't have to talk with him. It's just to draw attention to it, just so you realize there's even an issue. But he's explaining that he is worried because his sister, who is Orielle, the girl we spoke with earlier about the monster in the graveyard or whatever, who was hanging out near the residential district, Orielle has gone missing. So Parrow is worried about her, and he asked if you would go look for her. He says he looked all around the sky and he couldn't find her, but he says that she was heading to Fun Island, and she's probably somewhere around there. And it's super ironic. She's super obvious right next to Fun Island. I don't know how he didn't see her, but whatever. So this is just to let you know that that's the problem, and you want to go ahead and dive off one of the docks and start flying towards Fun Island. Now Fun Island is over to the far left of the map, and you can actually see it on your map. It's just the only multicolored island that's on the map at all. And so if you just head over there, you can see it from here. It looks kind of like a spinning top, I guess, from here. So the island we're heading to is in between this spinner and Fun Island. I started heading to the next spinner because I thought it was a little bit further on, but nope, it's just right here. So this little island just to the left, there, you'll see that there is a loftwing that is on the ground along with a girl. So go ahead and dive off it. And what I like to do, honestly, is you don't take damage when you fall as long as it's not too far away. So I just like to, dive really close to it. I don't actually have to go that far. Anyways, you'll see that the Fun Island is in the distance, but go ahead and speak with Orielle, and she informs you that her bird got injured. Now, at this point, this part's kind of interesting. In order to fix her bird, she needs mushroom spores, and you could have technically, and I mentioned this at the beginning of the last video, but you could have gone to Skyview Temple or just somewhere in Farron and slashed a mushroom and scooped up mushroom spores into a bottle. And then you can give them to Orielle at this point. As far as I know, that's the only use for mushroom spores, regular mushroom spores. If any of you know in the comments of any other use for regular mushroom spores, not to be confused with glittering spores, then let me know in the comments. I don't think there's any other use other than helping Orielle right here. But anyways, if you preemptively brought mushroom spores to her, you can complete this quest right now. Otherwise, we have to head back to Skyloft because Orielle informs us that her brother has bird medicine. So at this point, you want to go speak with Parrow if you didn't bring mushroom spores before, and he will be alarmed at the issue, and he will then give you a bottle of mushroom spores. And this is actually an entirely new bottle, so it will actually take up a slot. Now, I'm not sure what happens at this point. I've actually never done this and not had an adventure pouch slot. I assume that he will tell you to come back when you have space, I guess, or something. So you'd have to go put some items in the item check if you did not purchase the adventure pouch slot or get that other adventure pouch slot from the goddess chest that was on Pumpkin Landing earlier. So if you didn't do that, then I guess you would have to move items around in the item check. I suppose it's a chance that somebody would have that happen, especially if you're doing minimalist things. Although it's kind of weird because if you're doing a side quest like this, you're definitely not playing minimalist. So I don't know. I guess going to Beedle's airshop seems a little more obvious to me than some of the other things, and it's not what it seems like a more valuable thing. So I think a lot of people would do that first to be a priority to them. Anyways, this gives us our third bottle, and so we now have some mushroom spores in there. So you want to head back to Orielle and then just speak with her. You don't have to actually do any weird trading sequencey things like you did in past Zelda titles. In this game, you can just talk with her, and she'll just notice that you have the mushroom spores. You want to go ahead and give it to her. If you say no, she actually is like, "You monster!" Oh, you went all the way. You got medicine from my brother, and then you're not going to give it to me? She's super offended. I find their people's reactions when you say no rather amusing. Although you have to go back through the rest of their entire dialogue every time if you say no, so I just don't like to waste time. I like Orielle's animation here of being happy and holding her hands forward and squinting like that. She just looks cute. Anyways, so she's grateful to you for saving her loftwing and saving her life, so she then gives you 5 Graitude crystals, or these crystal eyes above her head. It's kind of weird. It always kind of reminds me of the little stars, whatever, in Super Mario Galaxy or something like that. Looks a lot like those little bits. At this point, the quest is not over. What we need to do is actually head back to Skyloft and speak with her brother now, because he is grateful to us. Even though we got a prize, actually, he has another prize for us in the form of Graitude crystals. So you go back to Parrow, and he'll thank you for saving his sister. He's so grateful that he will give you Graitude crystals. Will appear. Now, it's kind of interesting, though, if you did not, go back to him and you saved a step by bringing your own mushroom spores to Orielle, then this time when you speak with Parrow and he gives you the Graitude crystals, he will also give you that bottle. So that's just a thing. Don't worry about if you decided to bring your own. It will save a step in the fact that you don't have to go back to Skyloft for that step, but you will still be able to get the bottle, so don't worry about it. You definitely will get that. And like I said before, I guess I just never even considered what would happen if I didn't have space in my bag. I've just always had my adventure pouch slot because I just bought it around here because this is when I can afford it. So I guess I don't know what happens if you don't have a slot. He probably just says, no, you can't do this right now, and he'll tell you to come back later so he can give you the prize. But anyways, so if that happens, then go to the item check, move things around, or go buy that adventure pouch slot in Beedle's airshop, or get that one from the goddess chest that is over near Pumpkin Landing, which was acquired, I think, even for the very first goddess cube that we saw with Gorko in Farron, when he forced you to do that. So yeah, everybody should have that goddess chest available. It's the only one that's forced on you in the entire game that you have to unlock. Now, this is the only side quest that actually leads to 10 Graitude crystals. All the other ones only reward you with 5, so this is the only exception in the game. It is kind of weird, though. I guess they're doing it early just to make you feel be like, okay, I got it, or whatever, just to make you excited for it or something, I don't know. But it's also fairly easy. I think the other ones are a little bit more difficult, or a little more obscure, at least. But anyways, the nice thing about this, though, is we now have 25 Graitude crystals, so at this point, that unlocks 2 different prizes with Batreaux that you can get real quick. So I would recommend you get up now. One of the reasons for that is because one of them is a wallet upgrade, so it's just a little bit more of a boost as far as available rupees that you can get. And like I've been saying before, at this point, we're going to start getting 100 rupees and 300 rupees at different locations, and so we're going to need that wallet space, because otherwise you'll waste potential rupees. So I just want to make sure we have enough space early game to be able to carry that. The other prize that he has available for us is a piece of heart, and this is actually pretty cool, although we won't actually be able to get enough pieces of heart to get another heart container for a little while. This is our first one out of 4, or this is number 5 total that we've gotten so far. So we need another 3 in order to complete a heart container. So it's going to be a little while before we'll actually be able to do that. We'll be able to complete the heart container after the next dungeon, actually. So we have a whole nother area, then a whole nother dungeon, and then a whole nother area, and it's like right before the third dungeon is where we'll finally be able to complete that heart container. So you can see in my inventory, I do indeed have 3 bottles available, and other than that, I did buy the small seed satchel. That's totally optional, but I would recommend that you go put the wooden shield, or bandage shield in my case, in the bank if you haven't done that yet. And just as a comment, the bank person's, the item check girl's conversation will change every time you sleep. So just be aware of that, and you actually want that to happen, so this will progress a side quest with her. So you want to talk with her every once in a while when you sleep. Now I've slept a bunch for this side quest, actually, so her dialogue will change the next time I talked with her. That's all we had to do in Skyloft, actually. We're done with all the optional stuff, so now we're just heading to Eldin. So just work your way towards the red light in the sky. So that's it for this video, folks. Join me for the next one, and we will enter the Eldin province. Get bombs to go through there, but can't do that, obviously. You can make the jumps down there. We did, yeah. I want to kill them all. Don't worry, guys. I've got a lot of health for this. Oh, oh, no. Stop. Just gotta keep pushing him off to the right. Make a mound. Genocide. Oh man, there's so many bodies I can't kill them. Well, see, eventually I'll make a big enough mound I can get up. It'll be great. I was just kidding, but it's working. Oh man, it's actually working. Sweet. Nope, I got this. Oh, so close. Except I can't get down to kill anymore. Yes! Sweet! Oh, I already have enough bodies. That's actually kind of funny. I'm very pleased with myself. That was cool.